सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. Sairam everyone. We have covered so far 9 mantras from Purusha Suktam. Today we will look at the 10th mantra and onwards. So let's start. Yes, you can see. Tasmat yajnat sarvahutah richas samani jajnire chandamsi jajnire tasmat yajus tasmad ajayata. Tasmat yajnat sarvahutah richas samani jajnire chandamsi jajnire tasmat yajus tasmad ajayata. Tasmad yasva sarvahutah richas samani jajnire chandamsi jajnire tasmat yajus tasmad ajayat. In terms of pronunciation, there are no real, in the first line, there are no consonants which are aspirated. So it should be as the simple, except maybe Jajnat, this, the second tha in the tha varga, so it's aspirated. Otherwise, it should be rather simple. The second line, the chandamsi, the cha is the second letter in the cha varga, so it has to be aspirated. Chandamsi jajnire tasmat. So that's as far as pronunciation goes. We will look at the word split. This Tasmat Yajnat Sarvahutah is comprised of 3 words. Tasmat, Yajnat, Sarvahutah. So the Tasmat, the it becomes id because of Sandhi. So that's how you get Dya, Tasmat Yajnat. Here the it, especially in Vedic Sanskrit, sometimes it becomes more aspirated because of Sandhi. In the next line, there are no real Sandhis, Richas Samani Jajnare, but generally when Richaha and Samani are pronounced together, it's Richas. The Visarga actually is pronounced as Richas Samani Jajnare. The second line, when we look at it, there are no real Sandhi changes. So it should be reasonable as Chandhamsi Jajnare Tasmat. In the next part of the second sentence, there is a Sandhi. Yajuhu, the visarga becomes is Yajus Tasmad. Again, it becomes the id because of Sandhi. So you get Tasmadas, Tasmadajayata. Yajus Tasmadajayata. Okay, the it becomes id because of Sandhi. Yajuhu Tasmat Ajayata. So we look at the word-to-word meaning. So we have already looked at, from that the Purusha is offered. So he has offered himself, and from himself he has, all this world has come about. I think we looked at Aranyas, Gramyas, Chaye, Pashungus, Tangus, Chakre, Vayavyan. And so all the animals, the villages, the forests, all of them have come about from this Purusha. And the Devas are always offering the Purusha and creating all these worlds. Basically, the Lord has created Devas, the energies which run the world. These world offer the Purusha himself and create the seasons, the world. Everything is made of this same raw material, which is the Purusha himself. The Purusha has, so this is the process of the Purusha manifesting himself as the many in this world. That's what we have looked at. So this verse also continues in that strain. Okay. Tasmat. Tasmat means from that. Tat means that, because the Purusha is always referred to as Tat, or sometimes he is also referred to as Saha, he. So in both cases, Tasmat is the fifth form of the noun, fifth vibhakti, that means from. Tasmat, from that. Okay, from that. But in this line, the next word is yajnat. Okay, yajnat. Yajnat means from yajna. That's also from. Yajnat is the fifth noun form of the word yajna. Yajna means sacrifice or offering. So from that sacrifice. Okay, from that sacrifice. From that yajna. So from that, so it can be from that Purusha or from that sacrifice. Both can be, both meanings are possible. Okay. Sarva hutaha. Sarva means all. Hutaha means offered. Anything which we offer into the fires as sacrifice, or anything in this world we offer, is huta. So that action is called hutaha. Sarva hutaha. Everything is offered. Okay. From that, everything is offered. So whether the Lord offers it to us, or we, the Devas offer it to the world, or we offer it back to the Lord. Tasmad yajnat sarva hutaha. Richa. Richaha is the plural of Rik. Rik mantras. So in the Rik Veda, there are Rik mantras. In other Vedas also Rik mantras are present. But in the Rik Veda, sage Vedavyasa has compiled all the Rik mantras together and called it Rik Veda. The Rig Veda means Rik mantras which are in the form of poetry. Rik is but poetry of Vedic poetry, we can say. So Rik mantras. Okay. Rik mantras. Samani. Sama is the song form of mantra, so which is all collected as Sama Veda. So Sama mantras are, many of them are Rik mantras themselves, but in song form, you can say. So Samani is plural. So the Sama mantras. Okay. Richaha Samani. Jajnire. Jajnire means, I would say, well, given birth, I would say. Okay, it's passive. So through this, from that, everything was offered, and from that offering, Richa, Samani, Jajnare, these were given birth. Okay, in that process of that offering of the Purusha, the Rik mantras came to be, and the Sama mantras also came to be. Okay. Chandamsi. Chandamsi is Vedic mantras. Chandas means, it also means meter. Vedic poetry meter is also called Chandas. But Chandas also refers to the Vedas. Because there is this famous statement, Gayatri Chandasam Mata. Gayatri Chandasam Mata. So there are two meanings which can be given to this. One is the Gayatri mantra itself is the mother of Vedas. Gayatri itself is the mother of Vedas, where the Chandas means actually Vedas. But Chanda also means meter, poetry meter. So Gayatri is the mother of all meters. So there's a Gayatri meter and there's a Gayatri mantra. So both can be interpreted as the Gayatri, Chandas can be interpreted as both as Vedas as well as the Vedic meters. But in this case, I think Chandamsi more referred to the Vedas themselves, because we have already looked at Richas, Rik mantras and Sama mantras. Okay, Chandamsi, Jajnare. All the Chanda also was born. Tasmat. Okay. Tasmat, again, from that. Okay, Tasmat. Yajus. Yajuhu is again Yajus mantras. Yajurveda is predominantly Yajus mantra. They are basically prose. They are metrical prose, even though they are prose. They are metrical, they are measured in certain measures, matras or chandas. So those are Yajus mantras. Tasmat Yajus mantra. Yajus. Tasmat Ajayata. From that, they were also born. So this mantra basically says, from this offering of everything, okay, this offering of this great yajna, which Purusha performs, offering himself, through that, the Rik mantras have come about, the Sama mantras have come about, all the Vedas have come, and the Yajus mantras also have come. So, I think we have looked at originally also from Om, the original creation itself is Om. From the Om, all the Vedas also have come to be. So this sort of refers to that process of creation. Because what are Vedas? Actually knowledge. Because when God created, he is filled with knowledge in the form of Vedas. These Vedas were already present, which were discovered by great rishis. So that thought comes about. So in the creation, the sound, the Vedas form the foundation of everything before anything else comes to be. I have some discourse, actually it's a very lengthy discourse of Swami. Yes, Brother Kumar.
Sairam, brother. The last word is Ajayatha, right?
Yes.
That was where all were born. But can you just, I know it's a Sanskrit related question. I just want to know the Jajnire, right? Jajnire, right? How do you, Jajnire. How do you, what are the, is there two words joined there or what? Because both means the same, right?
Yes. A slightly different meaning, but I will explain. See, so this just Sanskrit grammar. Maybe what I should, I will just.
Sorry, just I brought this.
No, I think it's relevant. Yes, Auntie Saku.
Sairam, only Rig Veda, Sama Veda, and Yajur Veda has been mentioned here. Anything about Adharva Veda, Adharvana Veda?
Okay, I will deal with that.
Okay, thank
I
you.
think when we read Swami's discourse, I will read the discourse and then we can look at it.
Okay.
But I will just Brother Kumar asked a good question, so let me deal with that first.
Because, brother, while you're looking, I just started reading some old research papers. They said 90% of the world's languages came from Sanskrit, somehow or the other. There have a lot of research been done. That's what, I mean, it has been a root language for many other languages, but how it has got. That's what I just want to.
Yes. Can you see something?
Yes, brother. Yes.
I don't know. It's people who cannot read Sanskrit. I think they'll wonder what it is, but I've just explained to the extent possible. So, as you can see, there's Jajnere highlighted here. And if you go down further, Ajayanta is there. Okay, Ajayanta, Ajayata. Okay. I just wanted to show this because I will just explain what it is. In Sanskrit, there is some, Panini was the greatest grammarian who basically compiled Sanskrit and put it out in a way so that we all can understand, learn. I think already there were many others who had done this work of Vyakarana, the grammar of Sanskrit, so everyone can learn, and he made it easy for us to study the language. So for that, he wrote what is now referred to as called Ashtadhyayi. Ashtadhyayi means it's a work of 8 chapters. Ashtadhyayi. It gives what are called grammatical sutras. Panini sutras are given. They're all in a very cryptic sayings. So then there are people who have written commentaries on those sutras, which he has put in Ashtadhyayi. After that, he has, as an appendix of that work, he has also done what is called Dhatu Pata. Dhatu Pata means they are the roots of words in Sanskrit. And so then there are categorization of these 10, there are about 2,000 odd verbs, dhatus he has put down, listed in this Dhatu Pata. And they categorize them in 10 categories. Then each of those 10 categories have different way of declension. Declension means they evolve into different verb forms. Okay. So, and then he has listed in the sutras 10 types of verb forms. In these 10 types of verb forms, there are 6 forms which relate to tenses: past, present tense, past tense, future tense. And then he has 4 verb forms which are called moods, like Ashirling, Vidhiling, like that. Okay. May something, it's a blessing, or an instruction, things like that. They are not tense-based, they are not time-based. But there are 6 of them which are time-based. So this actually, there is a nice website called sanskritabhyas.in. And what they do is they give various forms of the verbs. Okay. They are called lakaras. This is just grammar, but just for information, I won't spend too much time. I think, so there's something called lat lakara. Lat lakara is present tense. In Sanskrit, there's only one present tense. It's present, simple present continuous. All that is one in Sanskrit, lat lakara. Present is only one. But then there's something called lit lakara, which is past tense. Past, you can say past perfect. So Jajnire comes under that. Okay. Then if you go further down, Ajayanta, it's called Lang Lakara, which is called past imperfect, something of that sort. It's a different form of past, but for our purposes, we can say it is past. Because what they say is past, it's not today, but sometime in the past, distant past, and things like that. So there are distinctions. Okay. So Lang Lakara is imperfect. It is father, the earliest type of meaning. Okay. So it's a different verb forms, brother, of the root word jan. Okay. Jan means, that's the root word is jan. Jan janane mit. This is the sutra of Dhatu Pata from that list of, so you can, it's 1937, I think, is the number of the Dhatu. So they have listed all the Dhatu. So every Sanskrit word can be traced back to these root forms. So it's so well structured with so many rules that once we study the rules, we can come up with words, we can understand the words, and so on. So Jagjire and Ajayanta are two different past verb forms of the root word Jan, that is to be born. And now again, there is what's called this is called Karmani Prayoga. These just technical terms. Karmani Prayoga means it's passive form of the word. Then there's something called Atmanepada, Parasmanepada. There are two different kinds of words. This actually comes in both ways. But here that development, that verb formation falls under what's called Atmanepada. So one's own self, that kind of a meaning. So I don't want to go into too much detail, but you asked, so I thought I would just point out. And so when I prepare, actually, I go through all this in detail because just for my own study. So I thought I would just share. And Brother Kumar made a statement that Sanskrit is the mother of all languages, and it becomes a very political statement in some cases, because especially among Tamil people, I would say, people think, which is the older language, which language came from which language, and all that. The reality is when the word mother is given, mother is someone who has nourished. So Samskrita, because of the way it has been very well formed, Samskrita means that is well formed language, very, very scientifically formed language. Because of that, it became something which nourished many languages. Many languages borrowed words from there to express certain thoughts. I don't think any language can match that ability of Sanskrit, which has become tools for many, many scholars in the past, in the ancient past. They were able to, there was enough vocabulary to describe spiritual ideas. There were enough vocabulary to explain physical science aspects also. So because of that, it has been called a Matrubhasha. The number of texts which have been written in Sanskrit, just millions of, and they cover all topics. Unfortunately, many of these are lost, or now they have been locked up in Western libraries. Some of these texts are not even available for access to Indians. These are very unfortunate developments, but I will just stop there. We will go back to, I think then I will go on to, the Kumar, I hope I have answered to the extent possible for your questions.
No, thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yes, Sakku auntie had asked a question. Where is Atharva Veda? Originally the Vedas were only called three, Trayi, which were Rik, Yajus, and Sama. Those are the different mantra collection which Veda Vyasa had put together. So Vedas are called Trayi, that means the three. But later on, Atharva Veda was added as an auxiliary. But the thing is, within Atharva, it contains all three also. There was no predominance of one. Number one. Number two, Atharvana also has certain practical applications. So when some people in the ancient days, they did not consider that as part of the original Veda. But many of these mantras are part of Atharvana Veda also. So that is why it is not mentioned separately here. But Chandamsi covers everything else which is not covered under Rich, Sama, and Yajur. So in that sense, you can say Atharvana Veda, it refers to the Atharvana Veda along with everything else. Because Atharvana Veda became whatever could not be put into these three categories fell into Atharvana Veda. So you can say Chandamsi includes the Atharvana Veda as well. I hope that answers. That is my understanding.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sister Devi, you have a question.
Saram, brother. I don't know if probably I understood this wrongly, but as was mentioned just a while back, well, and it was, one of the brothers said that Sanskrit makes up 90% of all the languages in the world. But you had mentioned in an earlier class, I don't know if it was Adi Shankara or somebody was, asking him which language came first. And then you mentioned that the Sanskrit was there, but the sound traveled different parts of the world. And then that's what they heard, and that's how the language came up. Do you think that is relevant here to explain that?
Yes, see, the thing is, I think what we should understand is, which I think you are referring to one story which is narrated about the Chandrasekhar Saraswati, the Kanchi Pitathipati, who was talking to some Jewish scholars who had come to do some research to see which is the most ancient language form. Okay. To that, actually, he is supposed to have said, in Sanskrit, we have the text which can explain how sound changes as you pass through different geographical regions. Someone had already put together how words can change, whether you go north, whether you go south, you go east, you go west, how the sound itself will change according to the location and the places. So that was the explanation. So the thing is, unfortunately, we all try to categorize a language and say, this is the language. The reality is, ever since human beings have been born, language was there. So what we should understand is Samskrita is that which God has created as the perfect way of communication. But the thing is, the bhasha which we are learning, where sages have been able to pull together, and they have done a lot of research, you can say, and they have structured and presented to us. So that way Samskrita Swami will say Samskrita is it's like Sanatana Dharma, that which sustains all languages in this world. We can also say, so it is not a narrow view of saying, oh, this is the only language. No, it is language which God has created in the perfect form, and which, if we tap into, we can benefit. For example, even if you look at a cow, the cow will call out ma. It's in its own way. We can ask whether they learned that word from Sanskrit language. No, they have. It is a natural way the animals have called mother as ma. They call out to the calf, calls out to the mother as ma, and so on. So the thing is, there is the sound itself. Samskrita is actually that which is well done. As for communication, bhasha means that which can throw light, which is self-effulgent, which makes thoughts come alive. So that is bhasha. So at that time, I don't think people. So they had only two divisions of language. It was called Prakrita, Samskrita. Prakrita means language in its raw form. Samskrita means that which is refined. We can say all languages in the world everywhere is in a Prakrit form, and then when human beings refined, they were able to bring out a refined form of communication. And then different people did different research and brought out different languages, and different parts of the world captured different portions of the same underlying language, which is actually the medium of communication. We are all studying the same language through different forms. It's like the same God. It's, if we ask, is the God in Sanatana Dharma is the same God as whether it's a Islam God or Christian God? These are questions which people ask. No, it is the same God, different people perceive. But the idea is that in Sanatana Dharma, God was visualized in the Vishwarupa form, So every form which we see can become form of God. So in the same way, Samskrita is a very expansive understanding of communication itself. And that's, I will stop it at that. So even as a language, I think some of this I covered when we started the course itself, because many people think language is for communication. You can transact activities in life. But the way Samskrita approach languages, Samskrita is knowledge. It's one's own expression. It's the way God expresses himself. It's a natural phenomena. Just one expresses itself. That's the way Sanskrit look at it. So it does not necessarily have to be a utilitarian value. I talk to somebody and they understand it. That's only one aspect of Bhasha. So I will stop it. I think it just goes into philosophy a little bit. So I hope I didn't confuse too much. Sairam, Brother Kumar, you have a question?
Yeah, it's a very quick one. Sorry, I may have misled. What I meant is it had influence to 90% of the languages spoken in the world. It's not it's the root language, but because all the languages, the other languages coexisted during the time in planet Earth, but
yes,
not in, like you said, it's in a raw form. So that's what I just want to say. It's not that the root cause, but
yes,
influence.
yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Brother,
Yes, sister.
I just wanted to tell you something to add to your points here. And the Swami has mentioned that Sanskrit is our mother tongue because everything originated from there.
Yeah.
So I just thought to mention that.
What did you say?
Swami has mentioned the Sanskrit is our mother tongue.
Yes.
Because that's how the Lord has communicated to the humanity or sages. So one of the discourse, like Swami is saying that. Thank you. Sorry.
Yes, Sairam, sister. So it's like saying Bhumata. Earth is called Bhumata, the Mother Earth. So how is the Mother Earth? On Mother Earth, all of us are born. She provides all the nourishment. We all eat from the Mother. Everything which we need comes from the Mother Earth. So it's the same way about a language. It gives you all types of knowledge. It gives you so that you can live well. So that is the mother tongue is that from that sense, it nourishes us in many different ways, in ways which we don't even understand. Okay, so I think Brother Vimalesan had asked a question. What's the meaning of Ajayata and Ajaha? I think Ajaha I will cover, brother, in the next line. Ajaha, okay, now that you have asked Ajaha. Ajaha has multiple meanings, but one of the common usage meaning is it's a goat. Ajaha, common meaning. That means which does not move, okay, does not go. But the thing is, Ajaha means that which is not born also. that which is not born is God. So in that sense, Ajaha is also God. See this famous Puranic stories now that you have brought. Maybe I will discuss that in the next verse. Next. So, okay.
So it said, does that mean that they have opposite meanings, Ajayata and Ajaha?
Oh, I see. Ajayata. Ajayata means, brother, past tense. Jaya is to be present tense. Ajayata means it becomes past tense. Okay. So, can be means a negation of that which is there. Okay. So, in the sense which is not present today is Aja. Aja means that which is not present, that's in the past.
Oh, okay.
It is not there today. From that sense also you can say, but Ajaha as a noun form is that which is not born or a goat in a noun form. But in this case, Ajayata is that which is past, that was present. So that sense of meaning. But again, most of the past tense words will have a at the beginning in certain verb forms.
Okay, so Jayata
Ajayata.
means born, so Ajayata, born in the past, is there?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Now I got it. Okay, thank you.
So, it's, I don't know. You can see, for example, Jayate, that's present tense. Jaye. Okay. Then if you go to past tense.
The R before Ajaha. Okay. Now I understand.
So, that kind of meaning, brother. Okay.
Okay. So for Ajaha,
that which was born also
the
you can.
opposite meaning, and for Ajayada, it gives the past tense meaning.
Yes, exactly.
Something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
I know it's very poetic, even the way it's formed. But okay. So I will just read Swami's excerpt. It's a very lengthy one, but I hope it's okay. Because Vedic concepts are mentioned about the different Vedas. The word Chandas is used. So I picked this up because Swami talks about the word Chandas a lot. And in that process, Swami covers everything about Veda. So I thought it's a good way to study what Swami has. The Veda Brahmana, that's Brahman, okay, has many names. Sorry. The Veda Brahmana has many names, and today we will take one particular name, Chandas, and try to understand him through this name. Him is Purusha, God. Okay. This word Chandas is known in several ways. Vedas have been divided into 4 parts. Some part constitute the mantras, the other parts constitute the brahmanas. These 4 parts have the name Samhita, Aranyaka, Brahmana, and Upanishad. Samhita has been taken to mean that part which contains mantras, and the other 3 parts together have been given the other names. Chandas has been given different kinds of original or root meaning, and it has also been described in many different ways. Not only this, sometimes the Shruti, which contains the mantra, and the Brahmanas have also been called Chandas. Gayatri Vishtub, Anuštub, and Sishtub have also been called Chandas. These are the different meters. Okay. The sacred Shrutis have been describing this Chandas in different ways. They have been introducing this word into various descriptions and thus spreading prosperity to the rest of the world. Although Chandas in a way is synonymous with the mantras and the Brahmanas, some people consider that this word has nothing to do with the Vedas or Swadhyaya or Amnaya, and they have been arguing in a different way. Some also argued that this word Chandas can be applied only to Gayatri and that we cannot use this word in relation to the mantras and Brahmanas. Some have even undertaken to argue that it has no relation to the Vedas either. They've been arguing and criticizing the views expressed earlier in this manner. In all these cases, the people who argue thus do it on the strength of their own intelligence and the prejudices which they have in their minds. We have to say that these arguments have nothing to do with the actual merits of the problem. They are more related to their own individual prejudices. Not only in the various texts and branches of learning, such as Vaisheshika, Nyaya, and so on, but in the Mimamsikas, such as Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa, and the Darshanas, they've explained that the word Chandas has the full meaning and significance as has been described here. Okay, just for information, there is something called Shad-darshanas, the 6 schools of philosophy in Indian Sanatana Dharma. They are all this Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Mimamsaka, all of them, Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa, all of them fall under these Shad-darshanas. I think at some point, I may have covered these 6 darshanas. So the different philosophical forms in the Sanatana Dharma. Okay. Some who took a limited and restricted view of things were of the opinion that what is contained here may be at best described as Puranas and Itihasas. But you cannot ascribe to it the authority of the Vedas. In one particular kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, it has been maintained that the Chandas can be related to this kosha. In Vyakarana or grammar, a rishi by the name of Aruni has also been supporting this in several ways. In this way, by drawing authorities from the Shruti and the Smriti, they have been establishing that the word Chandas relates to the Veda. In this context, it is necessary for us to understand as to how this word Chandas has come to represent the important statements in the different Vedas, what exactly the origin of the word Chandas is. There are some authorities which tell us that particular mantra which makes you distant from death, and which gives you immortality should be called Chandas. This is the reason why the great rishis who have understood and identified themselves with Brahman while uttering the mantras in the 3 Vedas, Rig, Yajur, and Sama, were seeking immortality for themselves. While offering the Havis oblation for the god of fire, these rishis were uttering the mantras which were life-giving mantras. And by uttering such mantras, they have given a distinctive meaning to the word Chandas. Here we have to clearly understand the meaning of the words death and immortality. We regard death as synonymous with all kinds of strength in the body being lost. In other words, death is the ebbing away of the life force from the body. If the life force remains in the body forever, we regard that situation as immortality. These are not the correct meanings. It's a mistake to think of immortality as life remaining permanently in the body. To be able to completely identify oneself with the aspect of God and completely forget the aspect of the body is true immortality. I will read this again.
Yeah.
To be able to completely identify oneself with the aspect of God and completely forget the aspect of the body is true immortality. If at all times we are totally immersed only in the thought of the body and its comforts and forget the aspect of Atma, that is death. It's only when we are able to clearly recognize the connection between birth and death that the sacred desire for securing immortality will sprout in us. There is birth and death for the body, but there's no birth or death for the Atma. To be able to understand the eternity of the Atma is the real meaning of attaining immortality. We must inquire about the process by which we can attain immortality, not only by doing good deeds, by keeping good company, and by having good thoughts in the material world and in all matters of our daily life, but also by imbibing the Shakti obtained from reciting the sacred mantras can we secure this aspect of immortality. So as you can see, Swami had taken just the one word chandas and given all these meanings. And he has also acknowledged that there are many people who argue it in different ways. But ultimately, the chandas is that which is capable of giving us immortality from mortality. And then Swami has also gone on to say, what is that immortality? Which is nothing but being able to recognize we are the Atman, we are not the body, and that our thoughts are continuously centered on God. And that can be, that's possible by just repeated recital of Vedic mantras, which is what the rishis have done and they have been able to experience. And so all that is contained in this word, chandas. So when we say Rik, Yajus and Sama, as I think Swami has said, the three types of, that also Swami has mentioned here. So all these are life-giving. They will give us this eternal life, or I know that we are eternal. That knowledge is given by the Vedas, and that can be attained by just reciting these and contemplating on this and meditating on this. Yes, sister.
Brother, what is meant by the having good thoughts in material world? What was meant by here, please? Thank you. Just I'm trying to understand.
See, we generally will think good means doing good in this world. That's what we all think, we are doing good. Whatever we say, I am doing good work, I am going to do seva, all that is related to this world.
Okay.
It's a material world only. We even evaluate good and bad in terms of the material world in which we live. So that's what Swami is referring to.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So I go. So from this Purusha, by offering himself, he has created all this knowledge, all these mantras, which will grant us immortality. Okay. That is the sacrifice of the Lord and creating this world. And that's the purpose. Okay, so we'll go to the 11th mantra. Tasmadashva ajayanta ye kecho bhayadatah gavoha jajnire tasmat jata ajavayah. Tasmadashva ajayanta yekecho bhayadatah gavoh jajnire tasmad jata ajavayah. Tasmadashva ajayanta yekecho bhayadatah gavoh jajnire tasmad jata ajavayah. In terms of pronunciation, the first line does not have any aspirated consonant, so it should be rather simple. Sorry, Chobhayadatah. This bha is aspirated because it's the fourth letter in the pa varga. Chobhayadatah. Gavoh jajnire tasmat. No aspirated consonant. Tasmat jata ajavaya. It should be reasonably simple, but I understand ja and jajnire can be a bit of a challenge. Jajni. Okay, jajnire. We have come across that word earlier also. We look at this word split. Tasmat ashwaha becomes tasmat dashwa because it becomes the id, and said id plus a becomes the. That's how you get tasma dashwa ajayanta. The visarga is also dropped because of sandhi. Ashwa ajayanta. Okay, ashwaha ajayanta. Eke cho bhayadata cha ubhayadatah becomes chobhayadatah. That's sandhi. Cha plus u becomes chobhayadatah. The gavaha becomes gavo because of sandhi. The vaha becomes vo. That's also because of sandhi. Gava jajnire tasmat. Tasmat jata becomes tasmat jata. It becomes ij because of the sandhi. So that's how you get tasmat jata. Aja avayaha becomes ajavayaha. There are two words, but it's a compound word. Aja avayaha becomes ajavayaha. We'll just look at the word meanings. Tasmat, I think we have already looked at. From that, ashwaha. Ashwaha means horses. Ajayanta were given birth. Yekecha, it's a each one. Ye means which, K means who, what. Okay, the plural, a plural, but I would say ye is also plural. Cha and, but the yekecha means all those which, that's that usage is like that. Yekecha means whoever it is, all of those which are, that kind of meaning. Okay, yekecha. Ubhayadatah. Okay, yekecha ubhayadatah. Generally, the meaning which people have given is ubhaya means two, a pair. Ubhaya means two. I think we have looked at this word before also. Ubhaya is two. Dataha. Okay, dataha. Many of the commentators have used with the word teeth. Okay, that danta, dant. It comes from the same root. So many of the commentators, almost everyone has given this meaning, two sets of teeth. That means animals which have two sets of teeth. Lower teeth, upper teeth, and that's one meaning which has been given. But I have also given a slightly different meaning, because one commentator has mentioned that, which is dhatrubhav, because the word da also means to give. Da is to give. So those which give in two different ways, also you can say. Ubhaya dhataha means they give you in two different ways. Okay, so whatever is going to mention, they give us in two different ways, one meaning, or you can say they have two sets of teeth. Okay, whichever you think is applicable. But I will cover both in the meaning. Then the next word is gavaha. Gavaha means cows. Plural, okay. Go is singular, gavaha is plural, gavaha. Ha is indeed, it's a like that, it's something which emphasizes. It's a sound of emphasis. Jajnire, they were also given birth. Cows were given birth, and the horses were given birth. Tasmat, from that, Jataha were born, Aja Aveyaha. Okay. So Aja means goat. Avi means sheep. Aja Aveyaha means goats and sheep. Plural. I will make it goats and I think goats, I will make it goats and sheep. Okay. So it's a plural word, Ajavya. So basically from this Purusha, horses are born, cows are born, and Ajavya, goats and sheep also born. Then the word comes Ubhayadataha. So all those which have two sets of teeth. That's the way commentators are given. But I have given the meaning. They give us in two different ways. Because why are these mentioned? There are people who have interpreted that these are to be sacrificed. So Purusha has given. Okay, that's one meaning people have taken. They are in those days, and they were also providing material for the performance of yajna. Okay. And the way I have interpreted this is, is that these cows, all these are useful for human beings those days. Even now, I would say, horses, cows, they give us milk, or they work in the farm, and they help us do so from the worldly prosperity for our own livelihood. They provide nourishment. Their milk is drunk, and they are of various use, domesticated animals. And the horses also help us transport things. But they also, that is so, they help us to live a good life in this world. They also become vehicles for us to benefit from the other world. So they give us benefit in this world as well as in the other world. So they give us in two different ways. They are all helpful in our pursuit of worldly success as well as spiritual success. That is the way the rishis. So there are many other animals in the world. They are of not use to us. But these help us live in this world healthily, with providing us all the types of food and nourishment which we need. They also provide the material with which we can get the other world also. So because they help us in the yajnas, that's the way the rishis looked at, because the geese and whatever comes from them are all used in the yajna. So Ubhaya Dataka, they give us in two different ways. So in that sense, I got some excerpt from one of Swami's discourses. Because there was mention of two sets of armies, so I will just go through that and then we'll discuss a little. This morning, the nature of the Bhagavad Gita was explained to you in a very lucid manner. However, just by reading and repeating the text of the Bhagavad Gita, you are not going to get any help. On the other hand, it is by assimilating the essence and enjoying it that you will be able to derive the much needed benefit. It is only when we are able to picture in our minds how Arjuna and Krishna were seated, when the Bhagavad Gita was being preached by the latter, when we are able to picture other details such as what kind of clothes they were wearing, what were the horses that were tied to the chariot, and how was the chariot made, and so on. And when we are able to picture the details of the entire situation, will we be able to get the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. In this situation, there's a chariot. There's one who is charioting it, or the charioteer. There is one who is sitting in the chariot and is being led. Then there are the horses that are leading the chariot, and then there are the reins which are controlling the horses. All these things together constitute one full picture of the chariot. But where was the chariot taken? It was taken right into the midst of the two fighting armies. When we make proper inquiry as to what this chariot is, where it has gone, what the two armies are, who the charioteer is, and who the horses are, and what each details in this whole situation, it is only then that we will be able to understand the fullness of this picture. It's only a picture of life and all the significance of everything that is contained in life. This is what the Gita teaches us in a simple and easy way. The chariot is the body, the jiva is Arjuna, the Atma is Krishna. The reins are the mind, our sense organs are the horses. The whole picture has to be interpreted by saying that Krishna, who represents the Atma, is leading the chariot, which represents the body, into the middle of the two armies. The horse being our senses and sense organs, and the reins which control the sense organs are simply standing for the mind. The body is being led into the midst of two armies by the Atma, which is Krishna. The two fighting armies can be looked at as Iha and Para. That is this world and the other world, or good and bad, or Atma and Anatma, or what is temporary and what is indestructible, and so on. The body is being led to face these antagonistic situations which represent the two armies. So in this previous verse, we were looking at cows, horses, sheep, and goats, and ubhayatataha, the two sets of teeth, who give us in two different ways. So whatever the God has created in this world are capable of giving in two different ways. The armies are always fighting, just the way our teeth actually grinds everything which we put in our mouth. Without grinding, we can't take nourishment. The interplay of good and bad in this world make us more refined. So this world itself is created in this duality. Ubhaya dataha. Okay. So everything which we see in this world can be beneficial as well as not so beneficial. But they can be beneficial in this world as well as beneficial in the other world. So we just read about you can see the previous mantra talked about the Vedas, the knowledge, which will grant us the other world. They are also capable of granting welfare in this world. The same way, everything which we see in this world can benefit us in this world as well as in the other world. All that God has created in this world is capable of granting welfare in this world and welfare in the other world. They can grant us welfare in this material sense. They can grant us welfare in the spiritual sense. So God, the Purusha, became all this and has given everything to us so that they can grant us welfare in this world as welfare in the other world. So whether it be Vedas, whether it be whatever we use in this world, they can be used to benefit in two different ways. And that is the blessing of the Purusha in this creating this world. So that's anything I understood. So I thought I'd share. I will go to the next mantra. Next mantra is a question, but I think the answer will come next week. Mantra 12. Yat Purusham Vyadadhu. Yat Purusham Vyadadhu Katidha Vyakalpayan Mukham Kimasya Kau Bahu Kavuru Pada Uchete. Yat Purusham Vyadadhu Katidha Vyakalpayan Mukham Kimasya Kau Bahu Kavuru Pada Uchete. Yat Purusham Vyadadhu Katidha Vyakalpayan Mukham Kimasya Kau Bahu Kavuru Pada Uchete. Okay, that's the mantra. In terms of pronunciation, Yat Purusha. Purusham is the cerebral sha. Okay. Vyadadhu. Dhu is the fourth letter in the third varga, so it has to be aspirated. The dhu. Okay. The dhu. Kati dha. Again, the fourth letter in the third varga, so it has to be aspirated. Kati dha. Vyakalpayan. Mukham. Mukham. The ka is the second letter in the ka varga, so it has to be aspirated. Mukham Kimasya Kau Bahu Kavuru Pada Uchyate. No other aspirated consonants. Then when we look at Sandhi, Yat Purusham Vyadadhu, there are no changes, but they are all put together as one word here. No changes in the sound. Yat Purusham Vyadadhu Katidha Vyakalpaya, no change. Mukham Kimasya, Kim Asya becomes Kimasya. So because of Sandhi, it has become Kimasya. But it's Kim and Asya. Kau Bahu. Kavuru is Kau Uru becomes Kavuru. Okay. And Padau Uchete becomes Pada Uchete. Kau Uru becomes Kavuru. Au has become Avu. Okay, Avu. Okay. And Padau Uchete, again Au and U becomes Avu. So that's how you get Kavuru Pada Uchete. Okay, that's Sandhi. Au and U becomes Ava. Okay, Au and U becomes Ava. Avu. Okay, Avu. In this case, it's because U is long, a dirgha, so it becomes Ka-avu. In this case, A-vu, because U is hrasva or short. Okay, so that's in terms of Sandhi. You look at the meanings, word to word meaning. Yat. Yat means when. In this case, Yat means when. Purusham means the Purusha, its object, okay, Purusham. Vyadadhu, it became many, divided itself, okay. When they divided, Vyadadhu. Katidha. Katidha means in which manner, how you can say, which manner, Katidha. Or in how many different also it can mean. Dha means many different, okay. Katidha in which, how many different ways it divided, you know, that's the question. When it divided, in how many different ways? Katidha Vyakalpaya. Vyakalpaya means, kalpa means also to make, to do things also, okay. When you, kalpana means thinking also. So you creating or making something, that also means kalpayati. Okay. I think we have already looked at Rudram, Kalpatam. Okay, that which is properly made, something like that. Okay. So Vyakalpayan comes, Vya means we in many different ways, creating, making. Okay. So Katidha Vyakal means how many different ways did it get formed? Is the meaning. When that one thing got divided, in how many different ways did it form? Okay. Mukham kim asya. Mukham means face. Mukham also can say mouth. Mukham, face, kim. What was his face like? This Purusha's face, what was it? Okay. Cow. Cow is actually, in Sanskrit, there is singular, dual, and plural. So that means two things. Cow means two. What kim cow means? Cow means two. Which are those two? Okay. Bahu means Bahu is two arms. Bahu is singular. Bahu means two arms. Okay. Bahu. Cow is what? Again, dual. Which two? Uru. Uru is two thighs. Uruhu is singular. Uru means two thighs. Padav. Padav is also two. Okay, Padav, 2 feet. Uchyate. Were called. So the question is, how was this Purusha's, how did he divide? And how were his face, his hands, his thighs, his feet are called? It's a question. Okay. This is a prashna in this Suktam question. The answer will come next week. It's 10:15. So I will, because that's a very lengthy topic once I open it up. Just to give you, see, Brahmanosi Mukhamasi Bahura Janyakritha Uru Tadasya Yad Vaishya Patpyam Shudro Ajayata. So that means from that Lord, different things came from his face, from his hands, what are his hands? What are his face? What are his thighs? And what are his feet? When he was divided, or he divided himself, whichever way we want to put it. This mantra is a question. So I will stop here. If there are any other questions, I think there are 2 comments, it looks like. I'll just chant the mantras, what we learned today. Tasmat yajnat sarvahutah Richasamani jajnire Chantagumsi jajnire tasmat Yajustasmadajayata Tasmadashva ajayanta Yeke chobhayadata Gavoha jajnire tasmat Tasmād jata ajavayah Yat purusham vyadadhu Atidha vyakalpayan Mukham kimasya kaubahu Kavurupada Om Samastaloka sukhino bhavantu Samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sairam everyone.